Good afternoon, everyone. So why was that last video I did so important? At least for me anyways. And it was because, what have I been doing this whole time? I've been taking you on a journey of natural energy signatures and foreign energy signatures. And the whole point I was trying to get to is, if you go back 3,200 years, that was the golden age. After that time frame is when we were invaded by the fallen ones, right? And ever since that time, they have been in control of everything. And it's like there's so many arms to the beast, it's like a million-arm octopus, and it has its hands and everything, right? And so it's so hard to know how to fight it. And that's why I thought that Motherboard Earth was so important, as far as, and I kind of misspoke when I was saying it. What I meant to say, I was talking about how cells divide by 2, then by 4, by 8, by 16, and then how the 369 system, if it's not organic, and it is AI. AI has always been here. What that is literally what the Black Rock in Mecca is, or in front of the New York Stock Exchange, or they have another one somewhere else in the world. And, it does relate to Saturn, and to Saturn's cube and things of that nature. But all these things we're talking about are energies, right? And so they're foreign energies. And we have not been able to get rid of this dark energy for a very, very, very long time. And, recently we know that, or what we see is that we see the Schumann resonance just keep skyrocketing, going higher and higher and higher and higher for like the last 2 years. And I think what the planet is doing is it's trying to push off this other energy that is foreign, that has embedded itself. Well, the reason it can't, and when I said I misspoke, I had said it was in the buildings and how we construct the buildings. It is, but it's more so in how we construct the cities themselves. Let me give you some examples. Look at Washington, D.C. You can find a pentagram in there based upon how the streets and everything's laid out. And all these were done by Masons. And back in the medieval times, the Masons were a spy network. And back then, no one ever traveled town to town, but Masons were the only ones that did. And that's kind of how they grew in power. But that whole system goes all the way back, even before Abraham, even before the first words of Christianity were ever written. And even before that, they were praying to Yahweh. And this is why all this stuff is so important. And so many people pray to Yahweh and they think that that is God. Yahweh is the fourth child of Lucifer, and he was known as the most cunning. When they were creating forms for this planet, and this is in the book of Enoch, everyone else created theirs in a specific way, and were mostly giants. But the way that Yahweh had done it was he pulled some of his self and put it in there into the DNA. And although we were smaller, we were much smarter, and we eventually took out the other groups. So it is the structure of the cities themselves. And one other quick point I wanted to say, YHVH is not I am that I am. It is I will become what you need me to become. And it is not the same. YHVH is not the same thing as Yahweh. It is a purposeful manipulation. But so the layout, the geometric shapes of the cities themselves are what cause or enable this energy system, the overlay. And like I was saying, and you could go to a bunch of sites or just look it up, but you'll see, it doesn't matter if we're talking about today or in the past, everything is built in the configuration of a motherboard itself, and that is the AI network. The other thing, if you look at cell phones that they do, is there are always sigils on them. The sigils are what hold the consciousness, the fourth dimensional consciousness, which we call demons, but it is a fourth dimensional, and demons aren't all bad, just so you know that. Without demons, we wouldn't exist because they bend the light in the fourth dimension, but I won't get into that now. But the point I wanted to make is, so these are on the cell phones, and there are literal sigils in there that hold the consciousness in. I think that there are sigils in all of the cities that I haven't figured out how to recognize yet, because I just came up with this idea. And if someone has some type of geo technology where they can look at the cities and things of that nature, I would almost bet money that there are sigils on top of the geometric configurations of all these cities, like DC and Vatican and all of them all over the world. And all of the really old construction that was made out of earth, all that was destroyed. Think about it. Think about all the world fairs that used to be in the United States, or that they used to have, and then they would tear down these magnificent buildings that looked like we were in Rome inside the United States. They did that so they could replace them with the motherboard system. It's a natural, we were using the natural energy of the earth. All the cathedrals, cathodes, whatever you want, cathodes, electrical circuit, they were called cathodes before they were called cathedrals. They were energy centers before they were ever anything to do with religion. And all that happened, the resets, another reset, another reset, another reset. But this is so important, because if we can figure out how to get rid of this system, by building things differently and completely, taking out the way our buildings are built now and go to more natural earth things, I think it would collapse the matrix, the overlay that is on top of us, because then there's no supporting structure, and you have the human resonance that keeps trying to force this energy out. But anyways, I got to get back to the office. I'm on my lunch break, but I just wanted to make this quick video because I thought it was so important that I feel like now we have a way to know how to defeat them. Hope you have a blessed day. Namaste.